Hi Gemini, and welcome to your weekly tarot forecast. This is for the week of November 4th through November 10th, 2019. I'm going to start by pulling a card for overall energy for your week, Gemini. See what's going on. We are under this Mercury retrograde, and it is very powerful and intense for everybody. Also, I want to apologize for not uploading weeklies last week, but I was just getting back from vacation and I'm moving. So anyways, Gemini, let's pull a card here. A rare bloom. Ooh, nice, Gemini. This week, there is something special happening inside of you. This is where we've kind of lost all hope, or we've felt very defeated, or like, man, everything I did, all my energy and effort was for nothing. You know, it's just a sense of a situation, experience, or relationship that left you very empty-handed, or at least feeling that way. This week, there is something connected to that energy that is now returning to you. And in that return, Gemini, it activates something inside of you, which opens up. And that changes you, that shifts your perception. It feels like magical fantasy type of energy to me. And it's not to say what's playing out is like that, but just the way something is like coming back to you and thus activating you. Oh, it feels magical to you, okay? Whatever this is, you know, and it doesn't have to be some big spectacular thing. It's just the sentiment attached to it for you is so special, and it heals you. It opens you back up. Maybe you're becoming vulnerable again, or you let your guard down. I don't know, Gemini, but ooh, it just feels so nice. And see the little sapling in her hand. It's like something in your past where you just felt completely empty-handed, and you felt like all of that was for nothing. An aspect of that returns to you in the now, in the present, and now like it blooms, it grows, and it feels magical to you the way it's like all playing out. Oh, so beautiful, Gemini. Let's pull some more cards to see what this is all about. And now these cards have pictures and words on the front, and then they write a random quote on the back. So I'll show you the quote, pause the video if you want to personally read it, but it's just a random quote by some wise guru. So I'm not going to read it or really get into it, but if you would love to read it, which, you know, there you go, just pause the video. But the card that's coming out attached to this rare bloom is the mind. And right there is that magical fantasy energy for you, Gemini. Because, okay, the mind is everything, right? I preach that day and night. Like, your thoughts are everything, you know, your emotions are everything. Like, that is how you experience your reality, and, you know, how your perception of reality is. And as your thoughts and emotions change and shift, you start seeing things differently and experiencing things differently. There's no magic to it. It's just really a state of mind. And for you guys, we have that right there at the center, like the state of mind where, you know, in the past you really felt like you were doing everything you were supposed to do but came up empty-handed. And now, boom, Gemini, it returns to you. And so in that mental body, the mind space, the way that you're perceiving and experiencing this return is so magical to you. It's attached to sentiment, it's attached to your faith, it's attached to spirit. It's different for all of you, but it's very special. It's so just like, I feel it in your heart space, Gemini. Okay, let's pull some tarot. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords that jumped out, the Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. So you got the 10 and the Ace. That is awesome. Next is the Hanged Man. Oh, how perfect. This is all about shifting perception. Ooh, perfect, perfect card to come out with the message that's already came through. Ooh, and you got another ace, the Ace of Swords. 2 aces. Gemini, that is good stuff. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles with Ace of Pentacles. What you really feel, Gemini, in the past where you came out empty-handed, here it is coming back to you, physically manifesting somehow, some way. You know, this could be a person, because we have the, you know, Page of Swords and then the Knight of Wands. Or this could have to do with money, material, finally being able to manifest an idea into reality. You know, it's different for each and every one of you, but here is the return of that energy, the manifestation of it finally with the Hanged Man. That is all about, you know, there was some element of sacrifice, and that happened in the past, Gemini, and that's why you felt empty-handed. And through that process, it was a life lesson which ultimately shifts your perception. Once that happens, the Hanged Man is no longer in your way. You've learned the lesson, boom, right there through the Ace of Swords. And I see that full moon. We have your full moon in the middle of December, right before we have the annular solar eclipse. So between now and then, Gemini, is a quite powerful time for you, where in the past, the sacrifice, feeling empty-handed, overlooked, left in the dust, you know, however it felt for you personally, boom, here's the energy returning to you now through this Mercury retrograde. And what you feel was lost or taken from you now returns to you. And just the way, again, all of this is playing out, it feels magical, and it's really shifting your perception, you know, also indicated by the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords for me is always a representation of Archangel Michael, Gemini. So this week, Archangel Michael is so with you, helping you cut through all the mental tape and BS that, you know, may have been just kind of really heavily hanging on your mind because of just the way things have played out. And now Archangel Michael is helping you cut and break through all of that. And as this beautiful energy returns, is in celebration with you and joy with you, and like a realization inside of you that this Archangel has been walking with you the entire way. You've always been safe. You've always been protected. But this, whatever this is, Gemini, it was a life lesson that you had to work through and overcome, and you have. And boom, now the reward comes in, something from the past returns. It's time for that bloom. It's time, like the seed is ripe and it can break through the surface and begin sprouting into something. And it comes, you know, after a bit of challenge, of loss, of heaviness, of heartache, of sacrifice. But that which you lost or was taken from you is now returned to you this week, Gemini. So very nice, and balancing in the mental body for sure. Okay, let's pull a card to see what blessing shall bestow itself upon you this week. It looks like a good week as it is. Whoa, okay. Well, we had half the deck come out, but it looks like we will go with the 3. Man, they're just jumping out of my hands. A blessing on your wisdom. Boom, right there. The Hanged Man. Everything making sense. A blessing for support. And a blessing on your boundaries. Oh, Archangel Michael is also very good with about boundaries and setting them and putting them in place. And, you know, here she's holding that sword. We've got the sword of Archangel Michael right there. So Gemini, you in support, and it's all blue. That's Archangel Michael all day long. So know that, like, Archangel Michael is with you, Gemini. Pray to Archangel Michael. Ask for the empowerment, the strength, the courage. That is his energy, and he will flood it into you, and it will elevate you and rise you. And there is nothing that can hold you back right now. Oh no, you've just got to make the decision for yourself in your mind to push forward and, you know, push out anything that doesn't need to be there. and focus your energy on nurturing all the things that are supposed to be there. And this beautiful thing returning to you is protected by Archangel Michael. And, you know, it goes from a 10 to an ace. So that's the completion of a life lesson, moving into a new beginning for you. And you are all the wiser for it. And Archangel Michael is with you this week, Gemini, like no matter what. So if you feel afraid, you feel unsure, anything, call upon Archangel Michael and you will feel his presence, or he will give you signs and synchronicities that he is there and what your next move should be. Okay, so those are your messages, Gemini. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.